Hey everybody, it's Marin at Sharing Wellness Promoting Health Wednesday, and tonight we're going to talk about um, PMS and menopause and tips that you can do to help these problems. So PMS basically is premenstrual syndrome. It's a collection of symptoms that occur about 7 to 10 days prior to your monthly cycle. It's usually caused by problems in hormonal fluctuations during the cycle, and there really isn't a single cause for it. So, depending upon your symptoms or your underlying cause, would depend on how you can help it out. When we look on the stats from PMS, 75% of Western women usually experience some discomfort during their cycle, and about 5% of them experience symptoms so severe that it affects their ability to function, and they're usually missing time from work. The common PMS symptoms are pain, cramps, backache, headaches, water retention, weight gain, tenderness of the breasts, abdominal fullness or bloating, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, uncontrollable food cravings, acne or other skin problems, insomnia, and fatigue. So there's also some emotional symptoms that come with it, like anxiety, paranoia. You may notice increased fears on certain things, or that your memory's not as good as it used to be. Maybe you're feeling a little down, slightly depressed. Maybe you don't feel as good about yourself and you notice that your self-esteem's a little lower. Some people get very irritable or aggressive. So one of the major causes of PMS is hormonal imbalances, estrogen and progesterone imbalance, poor nutrition, eating a high glycemic diet, or dealing with specific nutritional deficiencies. Maybe your liver's congested, stress, emotional issues. So this was our newsletter this month from Stephen Horn. So what can you do to help? And this really pertains to, I think, menopausal women as well. So you definitely want to support your liver, because the liver helps regulate hormone balance by breaking down excess hormones when they're no longer needed. And liver congestion is a major factor in PMS, and I believe to be menopause. So you want to use herbs that support liver function, like blood purifiers or alternatives. There's also traditional Chinese herbs for PMS. The wood element is associated with the liver, and that is associated with PMS and hormone imbalance. So there's a Chinese wood increasing formula, and there's a Chinese wood decreasing formula. So when we look at the wood element, the reducing or decreasing formula is really going to help those people who have headaches or migraines. They're having trouble falling asleep. They feel really groggy in the morning. They have some stomach issues, acid reflux, irritable bowel. They maybe feel stuffy under their rib cage, very aggressive anger or irritable. So you may want to try a wood reducing or decreasing formula. A wood increasing formula would help with people that get dry skin, acne, eczema. They get really pale, they feel cold. Maybe they suffer from joint problems, brittle nails, eye problems. They have difficulty setting and achieving goals because they don't get what they want, so they feel kind of frustrated or disappointed, and they feel tired, weak, and they struggle to stand up for yourselves. We've done a lot of videos on the elements of TCM, so the wood elements involved here, I think, from PMS to menopause. And then there's some essential oils that you can also use to help balance the hormones. Bergamot, lavender, clary sage, geranium, cedarwood, orange, peppermint, spearmint. Those all help and support the wood element and promoting balance. There's also a lot of herbs that also work. There's red raspberry, blessed thistle, black cohosh, chaste tree berries, dong quai. Those are a lot of herbs that can help with the wood element. You also really want to make sure that you clean up your diet and avoid xenoestrogens, pesticides, commercial animal foods, plastic containers. Definitely stay away from refined sugar and hydrogenated vegetable oils. And eat foods that support healthy liver, like berries, leafy green, and cruciferous vegetables. You also may want to consider taking some basic supplements for support, like magnesium complex, a vitamin B6, and maybe some GLA supplements like evening primrose oil. If you're the type that gets really anxious and angry, it's the most common type of PMS. Usually you have high estrogen and low progesterone, or estrogen dominance if you've ever read John Lee's book. So that kind of increases your adrenaline, and that causes irritability and anxiety and some muscle tension and cramps. So things that may really help with that are some B6 and magnesium for calming, and then a wood decreasing formula, false unicorn, chaste tree. Those are some herbs. Some people get depressed, okay, and that's usually the opposite. You have high progesterone, low estrogen. So if you're that person that gets kind of sad, anxious, confused, you cry easily, and occasionally go off in a rage, you may have that tendency. And then maybe some black cohosh or Chinese wood increasing formula would help. Then if you're one of those people that craves sugar or salt, or you have fatigue, you may want to look at some remedies that help with craving sugary foods. Try to avoid the sugar as hard as that is, and caffeine. Eat a little bit more protein and more complex carbohydrates like fruits and veggies. And then again, we're looking at our GLA supplements like evening primrose, black currant, borage, magnesium, B6, zinc, chromium, licorice root, and maybe like a spirulina or an algae or super green foods. So those are some tips for some of the common PMS types, and I think they kind of carry on to even menopause. When you have that big hormonal drop, you tend to go one way or the other, and I think the liver's really involved. And drinking water, exercising, avoiding refined sugars and carbs, and taking some supplements like magnesium, B6, black cohosh, chaste tree, false unicorn, red raspberry, to act as a tonic could be very helpful. And there's also flower essences to keep our emotions balanced, like crabapple, Easter lily, pink monkey flower, black cohosh, evening primrose. Those are all flower essences you can add. So I hope that gives you some insights and some tips on how to handle these moods and these cravings going forward. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and I hope everybody had a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday with their friends and family. I know with the weather through the Midwest and the Northeast and really all around with that cold front, really deterred a lot of people from making it home. And if you're one of them, I'm sorry that you didn't make it home, but I hope you were able to enjoy the holidays where you were. And I also want to wish everybody a very happy and healthy New Year. Remember, we are what we eat, and our body is comprised of billions of cells, and we make millions of cells each and every day. And in order to remain healthy and create healthy cells, we have to live a healthy lifestyle. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.